Hey travelers, Mag, I, and Sanferic here on day 148 of our trip around the United States. This morning, we are finally back on the road after our long admin period at my sister Casey's house. We got set out at sunrise and we are planning on making the absolute most possible out of our daylight before that sun goes down at an unbelievably early 4:30 p.m. From here in the city of Erin, we have a 310-mile day. It is going to be our last full day here in the state of Tennessee. We're going to be covering the northern edge of all of the counties and pages west of Nashville as we steadily make our way south to the interstate and then a little bit further west in the state. Our day will come to an end when we reach Humboldt. Where we are now, we have several earth caches, a virtual, and some other targets of interest to work with. Once we get through those in the morning, our day is going to be pretty much traditional hides all the way up until the end. Our big goal for the day is to make sure that we get the Tennesse DeLorme 7th edition challenge. That is the must-do for the day, beside of course our normal county and page targets. Yesterday was a fantastic warm-up day with Sanferic. After over 4 years of not finding any geocaches, we did a slow warm-up with guardrails and lampposts, and by the end of the days we were nailing lock and locks, and he was schooling me on how to make the finds out in the edge of the woods. Looking forward to a very fun day of geocaching out here, where I have to do minimal work because I have a seasoned finder with me who can actually make the finds while I kick back and relax and pet the dog a little bit. I can't wait to see what today has in store, and I can't wait for one last full day of Tennessee. So come on, let's go see it together. Let's go.
Our adventure for the day begins in Houston County in pursuit of a series of earth caches focused on lime kilns. These lime kilns were once the backbone of Houston County because of their importance to the industry in the area during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Beginning production in the late 1880s, these lime kilns produced for almost 60 years until the quality of the lime in the area began to decrease in the 1940s. Today, only remnants exist of the once booming limestone industry that existed in this area. The earth caches provided us a perfect opportunity to take a walk through history while learning a little bit about the local geology and enjoying the view over the old quarry and cliff.
Looks like we got a winner! Yeah, score! Let's see what's inside of this thing.
Upon completing each of the earth caches focused on the lime kilns, it was time for us to make a few physical finds. We quickly worked our way up from a lock and lock at the edge of the woods to an ammo can hidden deep within. Well worth the effort it took to get out here.
Sanferic is all warmed up. He is ready for what this geocache has to offer. Ground zero, right there.
Sure, sir?
Oh, I'm sure.
Am I just blind?
Yes. You're so close.
Nice.
Ooh, look at that. In the bottom of the log. Clever, clever.
A log and a log.
Sliding into Dover, the county seat of Stewart County, with a population of around 1,500 people, our very first stop was the county courthouse so we could visit the Stewart County War Memorial. Dedicated in 1995, this memorial honors the 89 from Stewart County who have died between World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan.
Not something you see every day, but a pretty cool spot for a geocache.
And it did not take us long to find. Within just a few minutes of showing up, we found the geocache located near the base of this helicopter. But we spent a significantly longer time looking at all of the other old relics this area had to offer. We made the quick find and then flew over to a natural spring not too far down the road. A hidden little treasure we would have never discovered without the listing to guide us.
A good day of geocaching is always made better with a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube guide. Yes!
And really, who doesn't enjoy seeing a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube guide flailing around? Coming into Waverly in pursuit of another county target, we found ourselves at the coolest spot we would visit today, the Walls Art Park. This park was created to give budding artists a safe, secure place to express themselves however they want on a blank wall. In doing so, the city has taken the negative connotations out of what would normally be considered graffiti and instead allowed it to become works of art. There are 30 walls of different lengths and heights to paint on, which come out to a total of 80 surfaces that are open to the public, with 15,000 square feet of paintable area. While some of these walls are fairly small, others are pretty large, the largest of which is 70 feet long by 16 feet high. The walking trail through the park meanders between each of these walls, on the trees and over the side of the hill, and we could not help ourselves but to take a walk through each part of the trail in the park and appreciate every piece of art that was featured here. Of course, there are a few reasonable limitations to what can be painted. The city requests that artists paint only on the walls, not on other objects, which there are plenty of walls to choose from. They also request the works of art do not include any profanity or lewd pictures because the park is open to all ages, and we did see children walking around with their parents appreciating the different works of art here too. Lastly, the city requests that all of the artists include their name and the date with the murals that they have painted. When selecting a wall to paint over for your work of art, this allows ample time for your artwork to stay. 30 days is the general period before somebody comes and paints over it. There are numerous benefits to including a park like this within a city. Not only does it provide artists a fantastic venue to express themselves, but it also keeps them from expressing themselves in places they should not, like train cars and bridges. And if you ever get the chance to visit, all the murals will be different by then too. After enjoying everything the Walls Art Park had to offer, we made our way into Perry County, the least densely populated county in the state of Tennessee. It is named for the American naval commander and hero of the War of 1812, Oliver Hazard Perry. We enjoyed taking a quick look at the Veterans Memorial in front of the county courthouse in Linden, the county seat of Perry County. As we trekked our way through the county from there were several murals for us to stop and see along the way, each depicting a different piece of history related to Perry County. With the terrain in the area largely defined by the two major rivers, the Buffalo and the Tennessee, over 80% of the land space in this county is covered in forests, providing plenty of opportunities to hide caches.
It's the strangest thing that I can go for days without seeing a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube guy. And then when I see one wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube guy, I'll see 2 or 3 wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube guys. I love these guys!
The sun was beginning to set down as we made our way into Natchez Trace State Park in pursuit of the 7th edition of the Tennesse DeLorme Challenge. This geocache may only be hidden about half a mile from the road, but it is a long half mile. There is no trail leading down to it, and the terrain is heavily overgrown, making for quite a bushwhack. We made our way across the terrain, one step at a time, hoping to make it to the final location before we lost our light completely. Once we arrived, it was a long, drawn-out hunt before we finally came up successful.
Wow, look at that, completely buried underground. I know this wasn't the way it was hidden. This is just time and loneliness. Oh boy, look at that. Found, buried underground in the failing light of day. This is a find. Whew.
And that was it. By the time we had completed the Tennesse DeLorme Challenge, we had lost our light for the day. But what a beautiful day it had been in central Tennessee today.
And that is a wrap for another day out on the road here in Tennessee. We had a very good day. With Sanferic here, right off the bat in the morning, we were able to get an hour jump on what I would normally have on my time for the day, because I did not have to sit in a parking lot and continue to edit videos after the sun came up. Once it had crested the horizon, Sanferic grabbed that wheel and we started onto the road. And by the time we got to our first target, I was ready to geocache and done on my computer. Working our way through the day, we started off with a virtual and several great earth caches. We got to learn about the kilns, and we got to see lots of river views just like this as we worked our way west across the state. Once we finished up with all the earth caches and the virtuals, it's pretty much just been a traditional day. Most of them were pretty standard. We did have a couple of good finds in it, but definitely my favorite part of the day was the walk through the art park. Being able to see all the creativity that had gone into each mural that was designed on those walls was amazing. And I think a lot of small towns
and big cities alike could benefit from having parks or other places just like that where people can come paint on the murals. I think it would save a lot of people from having graffiti in other places within their cities. Sanferic, what was your favorite geocache of the day today?
Oh, definitely those art murals.
Yep, those art.
Nice walk, hills. Gotta work the legs sometime, right?
And while we were checking out those art murals, Ai-chan did not want to climb those hills. So she had a strategic spot at the bottom of the hill that had no elevation change, and as we made our way across the park, she followed parallel without ever having to climb. She is brilliantly lazy, and I love it. It was a great day, and I think tomorrow is going to be just as good. Thank you for tuning in with us, and can't wait to bring you where the journey takes us next. Like this video, subscribe to stay tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.